Don't you hate it when you have a lead and either the lead just fizzles out, or you lose the lead, or you find out they bought a home from someone else or listed their home with someone else? Want a better lead follow-up strategy? Then stay tuned for today's episode of Real Estate Success Mastery TV. I'll see you in a moment. Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Sales Mastery TV. I am your host, Chadi Bazzi, a real estate coach and trainer, and I'm on a mission to help you master the art of selling so you can take more listings than you are right now, sell more homes much faster than you ever have, work less, and build a business by design. A business you absolutely love that gives you the money, time, and freedom that you deserve. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hey there, Chadi Bazzi here, and welcome to another episode of Real Estate Success Mastery TV. Today's episode is sponsored by freestyleinteriorsca.com. Be sure to check them out for all your design and staging needs. They do an excellent service. You'll definitely be happy, and that's why I highly recommend them and I highly endorse them. Now, on to today's video. Today's podcast episode is all about better lead follow-up strategies. Better lead follow-up strategies. How to convert more of your leads into appointments. How to convert more of your leads into signed contracts, etc. That's what we're going to talk about. So I put down, I don't know, when we add it all up, it's probably about a 5-step process. So 5 steps to more conversions, more lead conversions. And we'll begin by step number 1. Step number 1 is something that a lot of real estate agents are very guilty of. And that is they only do their lead follow-up when they have the time to do lead follow-up. They only do lead follow-up when they have the time to do lead follow-up, or when they run out of business and then all of a sudden it's time to start all over again, then they start calling on their leads. But by then it's already too late. The lead has slipped through the crack. They've already listed with someone else and or bought with someone else. So the biggest and most important thing I want you to do for step number 1 right here, write down, schedule 3 blocks of time for lead follow-up. Look, in your schedule, there should be 3 blocks of time in your schedule to do lead follow-up. Doing lead follow-up isn't something that you do every once in a while. It's something that you do every single day. And during the times that you don't have any leads, then you use that little slot of time that you have in your schedule to do some lead generation so you could fill up those blocks of time in your schedule for lead follow-up. So, and how big of a block we're talking about? Look, we're talking about 10 to 15 minutes a day. 10 to 15 minutes for each block. Okay, for majority of you, you probably don't have a lot of leads out there. Then it's just 5 minutes. For some of you it's 10 minutes. For some of you 15 minutes. It depends on the kind of business that you're running. But what I want you to do is have 3 blocks of time in your schedule. One of them is during the AM hours. During the AM hours, after you're done doing your lead generation, you do a little bit of lead follow-up. So that's block number 1. Block number 2 is early afternoon. Early afternoon, maybe upon returning from lunch. Okay, early afternoon. And then the third block is right before you get off of work, whatever time you get off of work every single day. So for example, if you get off of work every day at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, then you would do it 15 minutes before you done with your day. So 3 blocks of time. That way you don't have an excuse. It's in your schedule, it's in your reminders, it's on your to-do list, and it gets done. So step number 1 is schedule 3 blocks of time to do lead follow-up. Now, step number 2. Step number 2, I want you to write down 2W2S. 2W2S. Okay. Now, what does that stand for, 2W2S? Well, the 2W stands for 2 Wednesdays a month, and the 2S stands for 2 Saturdays a month. So let me give you the difference between the Wednesday and the Saturday. Okay, now, there are certain people that you're going to be calling during the weekdays, during block number 1, block number 2, block number 3, you're just not going to get a hold of them. You're just not going to get a hold of them for whatever reason. So what I'm going to recommend is that on the 1st and 3rd Wednesday of every single month, you do lead follow-up for 1 hour on a Wednesday evening. 1 hour on a Wednesday evening on the 1st and 3rd Wednesday of every single month in the evening time. So that way the people that you can't get a hold of, morning, early afternoon, or right before you get off of work, you try them in the evening time. So that is for the 2 W's. Now, for the 2 S's, the 2 Saturdays, I'm thinking the 2nd and 4th Saturday of every single month, schedule 1 hour for lead follow-up during the Saturday morning hours. During the Saturday morning hours, preferably between the hours of, let's say, 10 and 11 a.m. Okay, whatever you want it to be for you, just Saturday during the AM hours. Now, the reason being is there are people, you're just not going to be able to get a hold of them on, the morning time during the weekdays because they work, early afternoon because they got to pick up kids from school, etc., early evening because they're having dinners with their family, etc., whatever they may be doing. So you're just not going to get a hold of them. So that way, 2 Saturdays a month, you're going above and beyond what other people in your marketplace are doing, and you're able to convert some leads that you wouldn't have been able to convert otherwise. So what I'm telling you is put it in your schedule, make yourself available, and get the job done. So that's step number 2. Step number 3. Step number 3, I want you to write down, find out how my leads want me to communicate with them. How do they want me to follow up with them? How do they want me to communicate with them? Okay, I put down, nowadays we have a lot of different avenues. Some leads, they want you to text them. Some people want you to email them. Some people want you to call them at their office and or home. Some people want you to call them on their mobile phone. Some people want you to do a WhatsApp message. Some people want you to do a Facebook message. And then, there's a bunch of other different methods you can follow with people out there. Find out how your clientele, how your leads like to be followed up with. So now the question is how to set that up. Okay, how to set that up and how to find that out. It's simple. You ask. If it's a buyer, I'd look you straight in the eyes and say, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, every once in a while, what happens is a new property hits the market, or better yet, doesn't even hit the market and sells before it even hits the market. Reason being is because the home is like in perfect condition and it's priced perfectly. Now, should that happen or when that happens, you would want me to communicate to you like immediately before that home is snatched by someone else, right? And they're going to say yes. Perfect. Say, so when that happens, what is the quickest way for me to get a hold of you? What would be the quickest way for me to get a hold of you? Would you want me to text you? Would you want me to call you at your office, at your home, on your cell phone? How would you want me to be able to get a hold of you? And then they're going to tell you, well, I want you to just call me on my cell phone. You say, you make a note, call on cell phone. And you get their cell phone number. And then you say, and for whatever odd reason, if you don't pick up the phone and we don't want to lose such a good property, what would be the second best way for me to get a hold of you if I needed to? Well, the second best way for you to get a hold of me would be to send me a Facebook message or send me a text message. You see where I'm going with this? Find out how they want to be communicated with, how they want you to follow up with them, and just follow exactly what they tell you. But don't just follow up in one way. Look, if they tell you the best way is to call me on my cell phone, when you do your lead follow up, call them on the cell phone. But don't stop there. You can obviously text them if they're not picking up the phone. You most likely have their email address. Send them an email. Communicate with them in more than one way. Just do it in the order that they've given you. Go with the primary method first, then go to your secondary, and then your thirdary, whatever word for that is, etc. So that would be step number 4, is how to set it up. I showed you how to set it up. And now the final point is be outcome driven in your lead follow-up. Be outcome driven in your lead follow-up. So for example, if you're following up on a buyer, why are you following up on that buyer? What's the outcome that you want? We know that the final outcome is for you to put them into a home. But what is the outcome right now? What is the intention of this conversation? It's for you to set an appointment with them. So don't sit there, call them up and have a 20, 30-minute conversation about whatever. However, you need to just jump right into it. I'll give you an example. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer. It's Chadi again with this company, etc. Wanted to give you a quick call and find out if you still want to buy a home. Well, yeah, we still want to buy a home. Perfect. What would be the best time for me to take you out this week and show you property? I'm available all day Wednesday and part of Thursday. What's better for you? Boom, I went for the appointment. Look, I'm either going to get the appointment or I'm not. If I don't get the appointment, I'm going to get an objection, and then I would just need to deal with the objection and then go back for the appointment, okay? So look, that's what I want you to do, is be outcome driven. Know exactly what outcome you want and go for the outcome. Whether it's a buyer or a seller, it doesn't matter. So just to recap, lead follow-up strategies for more conversions. Number 1, schedule 3 blocks of time in your schedule to do lead follow-up every single day. Step number 2, we said 2W2S, first and third Wednesday evening of every single month, spend 1 hour doing lead follow-up. Second and fourth Saturday morning of every single month, do 1 hour of lead follow-up. Number 3, find out how your leads like to be communicated with when for your duty follow up with them. Do they want to be called at home, at the office, cell phone, text message, Facebook message, whatever, however, okay, email, etc. And then I already showed you how to set that up and find out. So that would be part of 3. And the final point is be outcome driven. That's it. Follow this strategy. Follow these strategies that I've given you right here, and I promise you that you will begin to convert more leads than you are converting right now. So as always, if I've delivered enough value, which I hope I did today, please go to iTunes, and while on iTunes, subscribe to the podcast, Real Estate Success Mastery TV, if you haven't already done so, and leave us a 5-star rating and a positive review. And if you know someone that can benefit from this video, please forward this video on to them. And as always, if you have a question, simply type your question right below this video at chadibazzi.com. And that's it for today. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.